So, I look crazy. Time for some new hair. We're going to be rocking with LeModa today. They sent over some beautiful straight hair. This is the packaging. Shipping went great. I believe I got this in about 3 business days. Could have been 2. This is the hair itself right here. I made it into a wig. I have 4 bundles of 26 and 1 26-inch closure. You see how I had to like pull my wig on? You don't want it to just flop on. When you make your wig, make sure it fits your head super snug. Now the first thing you want to do when you make a wig is to brush it out or comb it out. You just cut the wefts and manipulated the wefts so much that you will get a little bit of shedding, and it's not shedding from the hair quality but more so from the fact that you cut your wefts and did a lot of manipulation. Can you get a load of that? This is what the hair looks like after you've made your wig. No product, no nothing. It's super gorgeous and it hasn't even been straightened yet. So again, we're going to go ahead and adjust it. Make sure that the cap sits a little bit back. Now this is an anti-aging spray, or is it called an anti-aging? Basically, if you have gray hair and you want to cover it up, this is what this is for. Pick it up from Sally's. I thought I had some, but I didn't, so I just moved on. I made this wig with the hot glue gun method, so there's glue like right below where the lace ends. You can just be very neat when you make your wig and not let the glue spill over, and you won't have this problem. If you do, you can use a black hairspray, or you can use like a black kohl eyeliner and just fill it in. I obviously don't have either at the moment, so I'm just going to move on, and I'm going to show you how I pretty much cover it up using the lace. Shout out to my daughter. She was just quiet until I started filming. Isn't that convenient? But anyways, and shout out to my husband. There was a cameo. But anyways, so today I'm going to be showing you how to tweeze, plug, conceal, slay the heck out of your 4x4 closures to make them look like frontals, make them look like they're growing out of your scalp. All of the above. A lot of times your closures will come super dense in the front, and never or rarely do they come pre-plucked. So you still want to have that same energy you have with the frontal and have it slayed for the golds. So I am just taking a pair of tweezers. These are my pink tweezers from SHERMAN, and I'm just tweezing away. I'm going to show you basically what I do is I just kind of go ham. If there is about 1,000 hairs in the section that I want, or in the section that I am tweezing, and I want it to go down to about 50%, I just randomly tweeze. Hopefully I'm making sense, but I just kind of randomly tweeze in the front just to get it started, and I kind of just go back and forth. So I made a part, and then I realized it's not wet. Whenever you want to tweeze or pluck your frontals and your closures, it works so much better when they are wet. I could not find my spray bottle, so I just used a little bit of my foam lotion. This works great too, but you're going to see as it dries, it kind of makes a little bit of the white crusty stuff. So basically, I'm just tweezing going backwards. I hold on to the excess lace at the tip and kind of pull it taut, and I just tweeze basically going backwards. So you kind of just tweeze a space. Say for instance that space, it was 1 inch wide, then you leave 1 inch wide there, and then you squeeze 1 inch wide, then you leave 1 inch wide, and you just go all the way across. You brush it out, then you keep going. Obviously we're not tweezing a whole inch, but that's just kind of the analogy of what I do. I tweeze a space, and it makes a bit of a gap. I leave an equal amount of space there, and then I tweeze another space that's the same amount. I hope I'm making sense. So after you've done a little bit, you kind of just want to make a parting, because you don't want it to be just tweezed in the very, very front. You want it to go back about 1/2 inch to 1 inch so that it's gradient. So I've just made a part, and I'm just doing the same thing going the opposite way. Once I'm done with this, I'm going to pull out all of the excess hair that I've tweezed, kind of brush it out and make sure I can see exactly what I've tweezed. You never want to part, when you do this part, you never want to part it straight across. You kind of want to part it in an angle and kind of just zigzag it when you make the part. That way when you tweeze it out and then you put it back and it's all said and done, it is not just a straight line across. It kind of makes it look more like a realistic hairline where it is, you know, imperfect, so to speak. Now here's a bit of a progress check. You kind of want to pull one side back and see what's going on. It definitely still needs a ton more work, but you can kind of see that we're getting somewhere, right? Now continue to brush out the hair just so that any excess hair that I've tweezed, it just kind of pulls out and I can actually see exactly what I'm doing. And as you see, little by little, it gets better and better and better. You want to take your time and go across little by little, because you do not want to make any, you don't want to basically make any bald spots, but you also don't want it to be too dense. So My recommendation is always to just take your time. Do a little bit. If you get a little bit confused, if you're not sure if it's going anywhere, take a break, watch some YouTube tutorials, you know, sleep on it, come back the next day. Again, make sure that the area is wet. It will dry up over the process because this process is time consuming. A lot of the times it'll take me about an hour just to get through this the right way. So tweeze again going the opposite way. Don't use mousse like I did. Use water because as you can see it's starting to flake up a little bit. Now continue to just brush it out. Again, when you brush it out, you're pulling out not real hair, but you're pulling out the hair that you've already tweezed and just making sure that it's not still hanging on for dear life. But I feel like I've tweezed quite a bit of hair and I feel like I'm good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and start on the other side. This is a bit of a comparison. Again, a lot of you will say, okay, tweeze more, but I don't want to end up with bald spots. So I kind of take my time in this process. If the knots were bleached, you definitely will see a huge difference because it'll look so much more natural, whereas again you see the black dots and it's just a little bit more dim. So I'm adding a powder. Now excuse my makeup, I just moved. I'm sure you can tell from the background, and there is so much lighting in my new place. It's literally lit. So I did my makeup in so much lighting and I'm not used to that my makeup is just way off today, and that's in the end why the powder was off. I didn't even realize until I went upstairs to take the makeup off and I was like, oh my god, I look like a ghost. So excuse my makeup, excuse all of that, but this is what it looks like in comparison. I would say that's a huge difference, and it took me about 30 minutes to create this difference. And again, you do this amount and then, you know, if you come back later and you decide, you know, I want a little bit more, it's cool, but I won't regret this. You know what I mean? So that powder didn't work. So I tried the other powder that I usually like in this palette and that didn't work. You're going to see me use a lot of powder because nothing was working. And again, nothing was working because my makeup was off. Duh, girl. But speaking of my move, I am going to be doing makeup tutorials, try-on hauls, all that is coming in the month of July. I also have a surprise wig sale coming up this weekend, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But basically, I'm doing the same technique I did on the opposite side. I'm going to add a little bit of powder. Sometimes the powder will help you to check your work. Like if you can't tell, you just put a little bit of powder, like, okay, yeah, I'm on the right track, I'm looking good. Hopefully I'm explaining all of this to you. It is so hard. Like I could have never been a teacher because it's so hard for me to articulate what I mean. But pretty much I caught the left side up to the right side, my left to my right. Now we want to make sure that we're covering tracks. One of the biggest things with closures is making sure you're covering the tracks. In my case, the tracks are not the issue. It's the white glue because I did make this wig using the hot glue gun method. So what I do always, even if I cover up, first of all, I use a black eye kohl or a hairspray, like I said before, to conceal those. You can also just pull the glue up and it'll come right off. It takes a little bit of work, but it will come off. And then I'll take a piece of that 4x4 closure and kind of train it to lay so that it will cover. That back there was all of the hair that I pulled out. Now, if you've just seen this wig for the first time, you're like, oh, she didn't pull out that much. But then when you see that huge ball of hair, you're like, wow, she actually did do some work and pull out a lot. So I really did not want thick baby hair. As I get older, I will be 30 this year, I'm starting to prefer less and less baby hair. I used to love it super thick and I feel like I'm slowly but surely making it lighter and lighter. So still hanging on to the same Got To Be glue. If you're an OG, then you know I've been holding on to the same Got To Be glue gel for about almost 2 years and I'm still trying to squeeze out every last bit. Every time I do an Amazon order, every time I'm in the store, I never want to buy a new one. I don't know what it is. I have an attachment to this one, but I just use my finger to apply it, and then I'm gonna put a little bit on that piece that I want to cover the demarcation and the glue along where the tracks start, and that's going to help it to lay. Now I'm going to use my favorite baby hair brush. I have this from Amazon and I'll have that linked down below, and I'm just going to do some little swoops. I could have definitely made the hairs a little bit shorter, but you know, I feel like I've always do my hair one time and I love it, and then the next day, you know, I'll switch up what I didn't like or what didn't work, especially after I see it in video or in pictures. So the perfect way to make the perfect part is to line it up with the tip of your nose, because a lot of times when you look in the mirror and then you start parting your hair, you end up taking a picture and realizing it's off-centered, because like for me, my face, in my opinion, is a little bit crooked, which I think everybody's faces are crooked for the most part. So again, that was bugging me because I didn't have my hairspray, so it's really, really bugging me. But you see how I kind of want it to go backwards a little bit, because the wind's going to blow inevitably. You're going to fall back, you're going to lay down. You kind of want it to go in the direction it's going to go based on gravity. So I took a little bit of my Sebastian Shapers and just used that as a holding spray. I was using another spray by Kenra and I couldn't get the top off for some reason. That's why I went with the Sebastian Shapers. Be careful with these hairsprays because they sometimes do flake up, especially when you use a little bit of heat to seal them in. I'm also going to use some foam lotion to just kind of make the top look very salon, fresh, and ready. This is also going to act as a double agent. I used so much powder, so using a liquid on top of that's going to help to kind of wash away a little bit of that powder. And I'm just using a curling wand, the heat from the curling wand, to kind of press that product in. Again, be careful depending on what products you use. Some of them will flake up. You don't want a flawless hairstyle and it's flaky and crusty, because that means that people will still clock your butt. And at this point, I'm pretty much done. I'm just primping. The hair looks like, after I went to take my makeup off and I realized my makeup was off, the next day when I did my makeup, this powder actually matched me. So words of the wise, if you're trying to do your makeup in a new climate or a new environment, go ahead and take a picture with the flash on and with the flash off, and you'll be able to see, you know, if it's really right, because sometimes the mirror is deceiving. Now, cameo for my daughter, she's so confused about that tripod back there. She's like, is this a person or no? Nobody respects my gangster around here. I'm filming, guys. I didn't even know she was doing all of that back there. But I went ahead and just took a little piece in the front. This hair is so nice and full and beautiful. Sometimes it is nice to break it up and add layers. So I didn't really want to do full layers all the way around. I just added a little piece in the front where I made layers a little bit. And then I added some Paul Mitchell Skinny Serum for a little bit of shine. You know, anti-humidity and all that great stuff, so it won't frizz up when I go into the elements, you know, all that great stuff. Now I'm taking a rat tail comb and my favorite flat iron. This flat iron is so bomb. I have it linked down below. It goes up not 450 but 465, I think. It gets super hot and it silk presses even if you don't even have any product in the hair. If the hair is not bomb hair, it's still going to get that thing super straight. So I didn't really take my time and silk press the hair because, again, it was straight. It was nice quality. I just kind of wanted to run the flat iron through it to make it look good. Progress check, girl. I'm feeling myself. So the left side is done with the how do I say it? The flat iron, and the right side is not. And you really can't tell the difference because this hair is so great. I still like to run the flat iron through so it just feels complete and finished, you know? So I'm going to take those layers that I made and bump them a little bit. Normally I'll bump the ends all the way around. I just didn't this time. And that's pretty much it. So let's just talk about it. And this is pretty much the finished results. You guys see how it looked like from the beginning and what it looks like now. You kind of want it to look like you've done a frontal and you've just done a closure. In the end, you want to silk press the hair. I kind of just ran the flat iron through the ends and you kind of see the difference. It does make a difference when you run the flat iron, but this hair really didn't need to be flat iron. And then I kind of just added a quick layer and a quick bump for some personality. Also, something that I found with this closure is that there are a lot of flyaways. I can't tell if you guys can see it in the camera, but a little trick that I'm pretty sure we've all seen before is just take the scissors and kind of just hold it on top and just snip, snip, snip if you can't get rid of them. As far as the hair goes, it is super duper long. I'm absolutely in love. Normally, I like to dye my bundles jet black, and with this hair, you can see it's super nice and shiny and full, and the cuticles are on point, and it's a very healthy. Like, you would swear that it was already jet black. Like, you don't even need to dye it if you're like me. But basically with this one, I just kind of wanted to show you how to basically make your wig look like it's a frontal or even like it's growing out of your scalp. Again, I'm so sorry my powder is not matching because that kind of defeats the purpose. But if your powder matches really good with your skin tone, it's going to look so good and it's going to pop so well. I'm going to go ahead and try a different powder so that I can take some good pictures for you guys. Because right now it's like everything is showing up so red on me. And these are the colors that I'm normally able to wear. But even this is like red. And also whenever you put the powder, just kind of use your fingers to blend it out or something. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little tutorial. I thought it would be fun to teach you guys how to slay your wigs. If you're Netflixing and chilling with your boo, you want to make sure that they're not seeing that little glue. So go ahead and check out LeModa. I have all the information listed in the description bar for you guys to shop this hair. And also whatever hair you're interested in. They have body wave, straight, curly. They have the works. So make sure you check them out. Make sure you subscribe, share this video with your friends, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.